I would first like to express my gratitude to my classmates for voting me to be the graduation speaker. But all the credit, of course, goes to my tireless campaign manager, J. Seth Edwards, who I like to think of as my personal Karl Rove. Yeah, so I will speak to you, Tammy, but I promise to respect the time limit. It's with some sense of irony that I'm giving this speech, considering that I began my studies at UVA in the College of Arts and Sciences as an economics major. I decided on something of a whim to give architecture a try and enrolled for the first year courses. I can't remember now what preconceptions I had about architecture, but I know that I never expected that on the first day of Lessons of the Lawn, Peter Waldman would give us each a pistachio, a chili pepper, and a fable in a small plastic bag, and ask us to diagram them using sets of 1, 2, 4, 16, and 256 dots and lines. But the school quickly earned my loyalty and trust and convinced me to apply to transfer in, mostly on account of two things. The first was a happy coincidence, which I believe happens to every student at least once during their studies, where in all their classes, for a small period of time, there seems to be a focus on the same general theme. For me, this was a confluence of the Pantheon and the Parthenon, the nomad surveyor and lunatic, the ancient astronomers, Athenian sculpture, and early modernist literature about human ideals of truth and beauty. This convergence of information and impressions showed me that architecture wasn't about AutoCAD or bricks and white columns, but that it could both encompass everything in life and be distilled into the most specific nuance imaginable. In some ways, it seemed to me to be the most elemental form of human expression, more intuitive even than language. This school has given us an incomparable ability to shape and analyze the world around us as building and landscape architects, planners, and historians, and for this gift, we will all be eternally grateful. But this is merely one half of the magnetic draw that this school has on its students. The second thing that convinced me to join the architecture school was the true sense of community it offered. The intimate connections, collaborations, and codependences among students and with the faculty and staff. In the past 4 years, we have become each other's surrogate family with all of the comfort and security and frustrations that implies. I would argue that in the age of 400-person lecture halls and mass emails, the biggest asset of this school is the unspoken agreement to work side by side, share our belongings, and continue to teach each other once the lectures are stopped. In fact, I believe our class has taught the faculty as much as we have learned from you in seminars, desk crits, and reviews. And for the spirit of receptiveness and cooperation, I would like to thank all of our professors. I also want to recognize my classmates for being one of the most intelligent, diverse, and prolifically accomplished group of individuals I have had the pleasure of knowing. Together we make up a delicate ecosystem of unique perspectives, interests, and abilities, and I would like to recognize the faculty for fostering this polyphonic harmony among our class. As we go off in an infinite number of directions, I simply hope to reinforce to all my peers that we are each other's greatest support network, and we should use every available channel to keep in contact. Having been an architectural intern for 3 summers, I know that the working world is not always as hospitable to learning and experimentation as this university has been. But no matter whether we end up in Charlottesville, DC, New York, or Beijing, we will remain each other's most valuable resource. I will miss you all so much, and thank you for the best 4 years of my life. Congratulations, and thank you goes to all the parents for granting us this opportunity. You brought us here 4 years ago, and we return to you now, equipped with a new set of eyes, a different mode of perception than we had before. We owe this new capacity for observation and distinction to the teachings of everyone from Sonda Iliescu to Sanford Quinter. It is on this note that I would like to conclude with a quote from Walter Pater's conclusion to the Renaissance. To burn always with this hard gem-like flame, to maintain this ecstasy is success in life. In a sense, it might even be said that our failure is to form habits, for after all, habit is relative to a stereotyped world, and meantime, it is only the roughness of the eye that makes any two persons, things, situations seem alike. While all melts under our feet, we may well grasp at any exquisite passion or any contribution to knowledge that seems by lifted horizon to set the spirit free for a moment, or any stirring of the senses, or work of the artist's hand, or the face of one's friend. Not to discriminate every moment some passionate attitude in those about us, and in the very brilliancy of their gifts, some tragic dividing of forces on their ways, is on this short day of frost and sun to sleep before evening.
I think you can see after these three student speakers why it is that the faculty is so proud of these graduates who are with us today. And that's a smooth segue into the conferring of the degrees on these graduates who are with us today. So we